What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Welcome back to my channel, Jordan the Maestro. You know what it is. Listen, today we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of strategy that I've been talking about. This strategy helps me make on average $1,000 a day. And let's get into it, y'all, because it's not just about me. It's about making sure this whole community profits off of this strategy. So let's dive right into it. And of course, we're going to use gold as my pair of reference. Now, to really understand how this happens here, okay, we need to understand, we have to have general understanding on number one, how the market moves, of course, and also number two, how support and resistance works. Okay, so first of all, talking about how the market moves, and you're going to see this on every single time frame. Every single time frame, you're always going to see impulsive moves as follows, right? So right here, we have a big impulsive move to the downside. You're going to always see corrections. Sometimes people call it flags because it resembles the end of a flagpole, right? This is going to be the flag, that's going to be the pole. And then you're going to get a continuation of that move, okay? So again, you have the impulsive move, the correction or flag, and then the continuation of that move. And then as we continue, we're looking for price to continue showing us that until it reverses. And how do we know price is reversing? We'll get into that very, very shortly, all right? But in general, if I'm looking at this move, let's go back just a little bit, so we can understand how to determine what's a reversal and what's not, right? So here we were on an up move, okay? On this 1 hour time frame, we were on this up move, right? And we can consider this an impulsive move upwards. This was a big correction downwards, right? And then we had a continuation, right? And then followed by another correction, continuation, another correction, continuation, okay? Now we get to this level over here, and it seems like we're not necessarily breaking this level. We're not breaking this level necessarily, okay? So we come back to this level, and the previous low is not broken. And because the previous low is not broken, right, we still consider this a valid up move. The previous low gets broken here on this level. However, it comes back up to the area of the previous area of interest. So as a result, that was a quick reversal, and we came back up into an up move, okay? So one down move of a reversal came right back up and gave us another impulsive move upwards, okay? So impulsive move downwards, impulsive move upwards, and then gave us a correction down over here, okay? Now, in order for this down move to have been valid, right? Once this down move happened over here, then I should not have been able to pass this previous high. If I pass the previous high, then the down move is invalid, or in other words, the downtrend is invalid, okay? So because the downtrend was quickly invalidated right after that move, I consider this now an uptrend. So now we have this uptrend, we get this correction, and for this uptrend to stand, right, we need for price to stay above this previous low, okay? This is the previous low over here, right here on this area of support, okay? Let me erase that so that's not too much stuff going on. But right on this area of support is the previous low over here. And price, we're gonna follow what it does. It gives us, from the correction, a continuation upwards, right? Then gives us a flat correction. But look what happens afterwards. All of a sudden now, we have this reversal that happens. How do we know, again, that it is a reversal? This was the previous low. It broke the previous low, broke through, okay? And then now, all I'm waiting for after I see the previous low being broken is I'm waiting for an opportunity to get in on this sell after the correction, okay? So after the correction, so this is the correction over here. After the correction, which also falls in line with support and resistance, okay? We see that price settled on this area of support for a while. Once it broke through this support, there's two ways of seeing this and two ways of taking this move. You can see it structurally in terms of this was an impulsive move downwards, you had your correction, and now your continuation is coming up. So you could enter the trade with that knowledge, or you could enter the trade with the knowledge that, you know what, this was an area of support, and now it's breaking this area of support, and now I'm going to enter my trade somewhere over here, especially if I go down to a lower time frame like 30-minute. Okay, let's go back to that area. If I go back down to a lower time frame like the 30-minute, then, or even the 15-minute, then I might find an opportunity to enter this trade much sooner. So if I'm watching this trade like on the 15-minute, let's go back there. All right, if I'm watching this trade on the 15-minute, then this trade breaks through, okay? And even if I enter on the second candle, right, allow this to break through, even if I enter on the second candle over here, I can still ride this down for a couple of pips. This went all the way down. We're talking about over 200 pips. Gold fell on this level, okay? So definitely a strategy that is worth having, a very profitable strategy. You can use it either way now. You can use it if you're a more structural trader and you're looking for certain types of structure, okay? Then you want to enter at the end of the flag. But if you're looking for support and resistance, then it's a beautiful thing to have a correction within that support and resistance area. Then once it breaks either support or resistance, you enter your trade then, okay? So similarly, we have this over here. This area over here is one big correction. This whole thing becomes one big correction. But within this area, there are ways to make money. There are moves to be made. And the reason why it's important to understand how to make that money is because obviously you don't want to wait until this entire move is done. Maybe you do, and maybe you're a swing trader, position trader, etc. But if you're an intraday trader or a scalper, you want to be able to capitalize on even the moves within the correction. Okay, and the best way to do that is that when price is in the correction, as I said before, we want to find the areas of support and resistance. Okay, so identifying those areas, you have these areas here in the brownish yellow boxes, and over here, this is one particular area of interest that I saw, and I saw that many confluences were realized during this move. Okay, so here, what do we have here? So we already know we're in a correction. So we have an area of resistance down here. We have a consistent previous area of support right over here. Okay, so price came down to this area, showed tremendous respect to this area. Obviously, we see the wicks that are coming down towards this area of support, right? Some seller exhaustion as we get to the support. Came back up to this area over here, and then came back to that area of support. Now we have many types of confluences over here, okay? We have many things that go together towards our bias, okay? So first thing we have is price comes back to touch the support again, okay? That's number one. Number two, we have a double bottom, right? Pretty much it is the same thing as what I said. Price touches support on one end and then touches support again, right? We call that a double bottom, or when price is forming that W, right? Or reverse M, whatever you want to call it. That's what price is doing over here. And on top of that, we know that price is going to have some weakness when it comes closer to this area. So as it continues to wick towards this area, I can start looking for an area to enter this trade. So we look for that area to enter this trade. Now, where is going to be our point of exit? Our point of exit, if we look left, should be previous resistance. Okay, so our point of exit is right here. I'm going to put it right at the start of that resistance because just want to be careful, all right? And we enter that trade, and if you enter this trade with a one lot position, let's ride this up and see what we get. You get your 100 pips. 100 pips on one lot is $8,000. And it's moved like this that if you're able to capitalize on, if you're able to catch that each and every day, then you can consistently see yourself making $1,000 a day trading. Now, will this happen every day? Probably not, right? But if you also learn the other side of trading, which is managing risks, right? And knowing how to make sure that you really lose very little when you are losing and you are maximizing your profits, then more likely you're going to average out more wins than losses, and you're ultimately going to average out more $1,000 days than you do not. Okay, so that's what we want to do, and we just want to be aware of not only how things are looking on lower time frames, but also aware of how things are looking on the higher time frames as well, because I am aware that this is just in a correction on a down move. So in other words, we're counter trend trading. So you do want to be very careful, be respectful of the resistances, and wherever that resistance is, I'm cool to take my take profit there, because I know that this could come down at any time. Right? So if we take a zoom out approach and we look, price did come down at some point. Okay. So after this correction was over, price did come down, gave us that down move. And again, this is another area, an opportunity to enter your trade, right? Price came all the way up. Price came all the way up to this area over here. Once it broke through support, that could have been an easy area to enter your trade, right? And as we enter that trade, if we ride that down from the second candle, we can make plenty of money, right? Plenty of money. Whether you want to take it from one area of support and resistance to another, however you want to take it, plenty of money could be made just by following market structure, support and resistance, etc. Okay, so that's really it, guys. You can make tons and tons of money just by following this strategy, just by implementing that. But remember, it really takes good knowledge of market structure, right? Really understand market structure, right? Multiple time frame analysis, understanding where you are on a higher level perspective and where you are on a lower level perspective, and obviously understanding of support and resistance and how they come into play when we're talking about a trade being within a correction or wherever the trade is. Okay, so I hope this is beneficial towards you guys. You can definitely make way more than $1,000 a day. Just depends on your account size. You can make tons and tons of money just by this simple strategy. Implement that, guys, and I guarantee you, if you're diligent and you start mastering it, it will make wonders towards your account. All right, y'all. So I hope this was helpful to you guys. Jordan the Maestro, take care.